What is up, you guys? I hope you guys enjoyed that first session of this series. We're working on core muscles training. So before we get started today, we gonna go over the oblique muscles. I call it the corset muscles. But I want to share with you guys three quick things before we go on to the core training itself. Number one is one of the things that most doctors and even PTs forget about it, and even trainers, of course, forget about it. Is the fact that your core muscles are supposed to help you stabilize your spine. So, with that said, a lot of exercise that you should incorporate as part of your training should be for stabilization. And that's when you see the bird dogs, you see the dead bug exercise, you see fire hydrant exercises, and whatnot. The second one part is the strengthening part, right? And we went over it yesterday. We talked about how if you can get 15 to 20 reps, perhaps two sets of those, it's time for you to add extra load from the external, like bands or weights or kettlebell or balls or whatnot. And third, but most importantly, usually when somebody tells you, that your back is sore or whatnot, they just throw you into the core strengthening and whatnot, and they forget the flexibility, mobility component of your spine, and that's where the corset comes in handy. So when I'm talking about the corset, when I'm referring about the corset, I'm talking about the obliques, and the obliques are all these muscles here, very critical, very key component, one of my favorite core muscles to work besides the butt, because just about every single movement requires your core muscles. Okay. And now, when you're looking at the core muscles or the corset muscles, we're looking at them from a diagonal stand, or per se from an X perspective. And what I mean by X is that you have core muscles or corset muscles that start from the front to the back corner and from the top to the front corner. And that's what they call internal and external obliques. So sometimes they pull you back, sometimes they pull you forward and whatnot. Now, on a side note here, if you get stuck with somebody, a fit pro or a therapist, having you side bend for strengthening, walk away. Because those corset muscles, unless it's a serratus muscle, they really do not side bend. They help, they assist the movement of side bending, but it's almost like a waste of time, of your precious time, especially if you're going through therapy, to do the side bend. So everything that involves rotation, turn. I know for decades, if not centuries, we were telling people not to turn, not to twist, right? And they finally figured out, oh, the spine rotates at the lumbar and the thoracic level. Sorry, at the thoracic level. So we're gonna start just like we did yesterday, level one, beginners, intermediate, and then more advanced. And today we're gonna go over there where I have set up for a little bit of an external source, so you guys can see the actual rotational component, and you guys can visualize it to your sport: tennis, soccer, basketball, baseball, for sure, and most unarguably golf, right? But we're here on the floor with the basic, and I'm going to talk you guys through like I did yesterday. So let's get down to the floor. Hopefully you guys can see everything again. I still got my little friendly sponge ball here, right? And that's gonna go again, upper back, mid back, low back. So shoulder blade, middle of the back, or broad line if you think about it, and then the low back. Okay. So rotations for the corset, you're gonna go back. I know a lot of people do this crisscross, the bicycle and whatnot, and that just kills your hip flexor. It doesn't really work per se your core muscles. So you want to really work on extending and coming back across. So there's that rotation of the shoulder. Okay. The minute you start bringing the knees and the hips all like that, it really brings the hip flexor. So it's really secondary to strengthening your core. So let's get busy with it. So I'm gonna prep this bad boy here, right? And then watch what I do with this shoulder. I'm gonna go back, and I'm still between my shoulder blades if you don't see it. I'm gonna go back and then rotate. So I'm not doing the elbow, I'm going by my shoulder, and that's why you see me opening up. So I can really lead with my shoulder and not my elbow. Okay, and I'm gonna forgot to set up my timer for the good old 20 to 30 seconds so we can get the reps in there, right? There. And again, this right now we're doing beginner's level, and then we're gonna work our way with a different one to intermediate level. And you wanna do that for both sides, this shoulder and then the other shoulder. But again, we're rotating back and then coming across. Okay? The feet underneath you flat, you know. Now, for intermediate level, we go right in the middle of the back, right? And we're still gonna go backwards, but now we're gonna come into this reach over component. So we're gonna reaching across that way. And again, I'm out of the shoulder blade in the middle of the back. And again, here's this timer. We're gonna go for it. So we're gonna go here, and then I'm gonna reach forward and over. But I'm still leading with the shoulder reaching forward. Now, like I mentioned yesterday, excuse me, we're still trying to close the gap between the last rib and the pelvic muscle. So that's why that reaching over bring the rectus abdominis to work along with that oblique component. Okay? Now the advanced level, that's why I'm gonna bring a little bit of external force, a band. So I'm gonna turn this guy over here. You guys can check it out a little bit. See if I can set it up so it stays on the ground. All right, so where's my external force? So medium heavy band at the ankle, opposite foot. All right, you're gonna go between your knees and you're gonna go back and then all the way across towards that ankle. So it's full range of rotation, right? So you're gonna lock it in here. You're gonna go back and then go all the way forward. See that? My hip flexors are locked in. They're not helping me much. It's all coming from the rectus and the obliques. Again, tailbone, low back, I call it. And here we go. We're gonna go back and then forward. There, forward. This is advanced level. For this mode, just using the sponge ball. But I want you guys to get the concept. And then once you get the concept right, you can apply it at your home gym or at your local gym, or maybe teach your trainer what they need to add on to your routine. And again, leading with the shoulder, not the elbow. Right? So there's that 30 seconds. All right. And I try to see if my little friendly handle here works. But this is one of my favorite to use with everybody, even people that just walk, and especially people that are runners. So the anchor, I'm gonna lower it here. It's about knee level, okay? And I'm gonna put this loop around my shoulder and then wrap myself around like a crescent, all right? So it's gonna go behind my back, and it's all about pivoting myself. So I'm gonna do my best here holding up this guy so you guys can see what I do. I'm gonna put it on my shoulder, right? And I'm gonna wrap myself around. And as you can see, now it's coming on the down rotation. And that's the pulling angle that we're looking for that rotation backwards, right? And the shoulder that has the band, that's the foot, that's the same foot that I'm gonna pivot over. And this is where you can have a medicine ball, a kettlebell, whatever you want, rip trainer, whatever, and just really work for you. As far as the band going behind, you want to go kind of a slanted across your back, so shoulder down to the butt. And we're gonna go set it again for 30 seconds. Give you guys a look at this. So we're gonna go pivot the foot like that, right? Let's see if I can pop this here so you guys can see it in full motion. Hopefully stays there. All right, let's see. So it's right back here. And we just see that. So I go from back here and I lock my arms so I don't do that because my elbows are moving. I'm actually doing the rotation. I'm leading the rotation with my shoulder, but the whole party, the whole movement starts at the foot, at the big toe, pivoting on the big toe. The beautiful thing is that even though you're working on the strengthening on the obliques, you're stabilizing the standing hip, which is your butt cheek, right? Part of your core musculature. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Tomorrow, let's do some stability actions since I brought up the hip and the butt as part of your stability for that movement. But I want you guys to start getting the the whole concept of what the external obliques do. You know, if you're doing bicycles, if you're doing windshield wipers, if you're doing Russian twist, all those classic exercise, yes, you feel your abdominals, and feeling and developing and strengthening and conditioning is different than feeling them. We want to be effective, and we wanted to keep it simple and stupid and slick, right? So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Again, leave me comments below, but tomorrow we're going to do stability stuff unless I hear from you guys. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.